Good morning, everybody. This is the e-content audio production of the short story Scales. It was written by an American author, Louis Erdrich. Now, let us pass on to the biography of the author. Karen Louise Erdrich was born on June 7, 1954, in Little Falls, Minnesota. She is an American author, novelist, poet, and writer of children's books featuring Native American characters and settings. She is an enrolled member of the Turtle Mountain Band of Chippewas Indians, a federally recognized tribe of the Anishinaabe. Some of her works are Jack Light, a book of blank verse poems, Love Medicine, first novel, The Beat Queen, second novel, The Bingo Palace, Tales of Burning Love, The Antelope Wife, The Last Report on the Miracles at Little No Hearts, The Master Butcher's Singing Club, The Plagues of Doves, Grandmother's Pigeon, and her children's book, The Birch Bark House, The Game of Silence, The Porcupine Ear, The Blue Jay's Dance. She has written more than a dozen novels and has won many literary awards, including the National Book Critics Circle Award for Love Medicine and the National Book Award for Fiction for The Round House. Now let us pass on to her style of writing and techniques. Her books focus on contemporary and historical Native American issues. Her characters represent the lives of their own and lives of histories. Her style is easy to understand, offhand, and quietly unostentatious. Her language has an unpredictability and sense of surprise. She uses lyrical description and narration. She concentrates on realistic stories of small town life and retells mythological stories. Her works navigate between two symbolic systems, dynamizing conceptual dialogue and post-colonial effect of abrogation and re-articulation of Western symbols. Now we shall discuss the plot of the story. The short story Scales, set in 1980, is a hilarious account of the romance between Dot Addery, an obese clerk at a truck weighing station, and Gary Nanapush, one of the sons of Lulu, who is the most unusual convict. He is enormous fat and amazingly proficient at escaping from jail, but totally inept at avoiding recapture. The story is in first person narration and is narrated in past tense. The setting is near the beet fields of North Dakota. The story is about a hard won friendship between two women. The short story Scales appears in the North American Review and the Best American Short Stories 1983 and later folds into the novel Love Medicine. Now, let us pass on to the summary of the novel. The short story Scales is the 11th part of the novel Love Medicine. Erdrich describes the fierce bond between Dot Addery, a sturdy, irascible woman who weighs trucks for the North Dakota Highway Department, and her rascally husband, Gary Nanapush. In the weigh shack, the pregnant Dot knits clothes for her baby, pulling each stitch so tightly that the little garments she finished stood up by themselves like miniature suits of mail. Just in time for the birth, Gary springs himself from jail, riding to the hospital on a huge and ancient rust-spoke motorcycle. A few weeks later, she is back in the weigh shack, and Gary is back in jail. Dot impulsively weighs the child on the truck scale. He was so dense with life, such a powerful distillation of Dot and Gary. It seemed he might weigh about as much as any load. Erdrich writes, but that was only a thought, of course, for as it turned out, He was too light and did not register at all. In the scales, perhaps he didn't. But on the page, his weight is solid, both with past accumulation and latent future. The narrator becomes friends with a volatile and jealous woman who is 5 months pregnant. The father of the child is in and out of the prison mostly, in the beginning, for escaping. Both women work on a construction site weighing trucks. Eventually, father kills a federal agent, so now he'll never be free. The child is born and doesn't register any weight on the truck scales. Theme: many people do not register in the eyes of officialdom government. Now let us see some of the major themes of the story. Indian heritage and culture. Erdrich subverts the idea that Indians must assimilate in order to be part of the American life. The characters show that they live out traditional values daily. For example, Lulu's decision to promote traditional culture in life does not come at the expense of her owning a new Chevy or wearing light and fashionable clothes. The second one is time. The story tells the time that Gary often escapes from the jail and reaches hospital for the birth of his child and escapes from love chick. The time is also mentioned that his child will probably grow up without knowing Gary as his father. The third one is sympathetic and realistic. The continuous running and escaping of Gary show the realistic path and situation of his life. Sympathy is created in the mind of readers when Dot knits baby clothes in the absence of her husband Gary. The fourth one is survival. The characters Albertine, Dot, and Gary live through different circumstances, and each of their stories present a different set of survival. The last one is chance. The chance and the Chippewas are the foremost reason for the Gary's imprisonment. I think this audio production will be helpful for you. Thank you.